I can tell you this was absolutely not the plan. I had a whole plan. I was going to go outside. I was going to continue my outside recording. And then the wind here is crazy. So there is that. I will put up a B-roll to show you what I mean by that. However, if you're here because you saw the title, because you saw the thumbnail, let's talk about it. We need to take a collective deep breath. We need to remember that the NFL is a billion-dollar organization. The NFL is a billion-dollar organization. Right now, they are trying to devalue players. Right now, it is an all-out attack on top NFL talent. Do you want to know why? Because the teams that want these players need their value to fall. This is the name of the game. This is what happens. You go to the combine. If you perform really well, all of a sudden, little stories start trickling out. All of a sudden, little things start happening. I've been telling people since I started my YouTube channel, college football is not like the NFL. College football, they try to protect athletes. College football, they try to make all the athletes sound good. All the athletes are going to be playing on Sunday. You'll see him on Sunday. You'll see him on Sunday. You'll see him on Sunday. The NFL is not about that. The NFL is a business. The NFL is trying to get you as cheap as they can possibly get you. So if Shedeur Sanders falls out of the top 10, that number 11th team is ready to go. I also, if I could bet my next paycheck, I would be willing to bet that a team that is hoping that Shedeur Sanders falls in this draft is the team that is leaking information. Leaking information is the team that wants you to think all of these things about Shedeur Sanders. I would be willing to bet that we are going to continue to hear negative things about Shedeur, because here is the trick of the trade. They are hoping Shedeur responds. They are hoping Shedeur does something to devalue himself. They are hoping somebody around Shedeur does something to devalue himself. They are hoping to sweet baby Jesus that Shedeur Sanders does something so that he can trigger something, so that somebody can go, aha, we got you. Aha, we were right. So that his draft stock falls, and so the team that really wants him can come and get him. Stop falling for the okie doke. Stop falling for these tricks. We have to be smart. Think about what is happening here. Think about the process of what is happening here. If you devalue players, this is what you're going to get. Don't believe me? Think about Caleb Williams last year. Don't believe me? Think about Jaden Daniels last year. This is what people do to top players in the draft. We have to be more emotionally disciplined. We have to be emotionally disciplined and not react to every single thing that we see, because it is all a trap. It is all a setup. We have people that have years and years and years and years of experience that are doing these things on purpose, and a lot of us are falling for it because we don't have the years of experience that they have. This is all a trick. Stop falling for it. Shedeur Sanders is going to be fine. Stop falling for it. Stop getting all worked up. Stop doing all the things. I'm making this video in hopes that most of us will take a deep breath and let it go. Let me get into the other side of this video and tell you all the reasons why I know that this is all a rouge. This is all a rouge, and all of you all are falling for it. Don't fall for the okie doke. We're better than this. We're smarter than this. We're more disciplined than this. Let me get to the other side of this video. Do we remember last year Caleb Williams? Do we remember pre-draft Caleb Williams? Do we remember all the things that were being said about Caleb Williams last year pre-draft? Take a second, take 1 second and think about all the things that were being said about Caleb Williams. Do you remember all the things people were making up? Do you remember all the things that were happening? If you don't remember, guess what? Good thing you have me, because I remember. I have my trusty iPad here, and I have spent about 7 minutes to do a little bit of research to figure out what was being said about Caleb Williams, just to show you the things that are being said about the things that were being said last year about Caleb Williams are the same things this year that are being said about Shedeur Sanders. Here's number one. This says on February 26th, 2024, last year, something came out. It said, former NFL scout removes Caleb Williams from draft board due to latest decision. Oh my gosh, he removed him from the draft board. You want to know what that decision was? Caleb Williams didn't throw at the NFL combine. That's what the decision was. So he removed him from that. Okay, what is happening with Shedeur Sanders? Combine just happens. Now all these stories are coming out about Shedeur Sanders. We have to be emotionally disciplined here. We have to pay attention to what's going on. Somebody find Daniel Kelly right now and see if he's the guy that's saying these things about Shedeur. This happens. And I also want to say this. Who cares if some teams are starting to remove Shedeur from their draft board? The truth is they weren't going to get him anyway. If you're picking 15, 14, 12, 6, he might not be available. So you actually should remove him from your draft board. He might not even be there. So I think sometimes we're so quick to want to defend. We want to jump in. We want to do this. We want to do this. Shedeur's this. Shedeur's that. Like, calm down. Everything doesn't need to be defended. Everything doesn't need to be this whole hoopla of what do you know? What do you know? We don't need to go back and forth with these people. These people are being paid to do this. This is what the NFL does. It is $1 billion industry. Let's be honest here for a second. If you close your eyes and picture yourself being a billionaire, if you were a billionaire, how would you protect your assets? If you were a billionaire, how would you protect your money? If you were a billionaire, how would you protect your investments? That is exactly what's happening right now. We have to remember that I'm a normal person. Okay, I get a normal paycheck. I'm not a billionaire. I don't have all these things. However, when you get up to that level of business and you are trying to protect your investments, when you're trying to turn over the keys to the franchise to somebody, you're going to do everything you can to try to rattle that person. And that is why I will always say, all of this Shedeur talk is a rouge. It's all a rouge. Don't fall for it. Don't get sensitive. Don't get in your feelings. Don't do all that stuff. If Shedeur stays silent and says absolutely nothing, he is going to be the winner in this. This is all just throwing out stuff just to see if anything sticks. This is all hoping that somebody else comes out and chimes in. Who cares if they think Shedeur Sanders is arrogant? I can tell you 30 black men that people think are arrogant. Who cares if they think Shedeur is too confident, too black, too this, to that? Who cares? Who cares if people don't like Shedeur's confidence? You know who else's confidence they didn't like? Tom Brady. You know who else's confidence they didn't like? Cam Newton. You know who others' confidence they didn't like? Insert player here. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray. Insert any guy you can think of. They don't like their confidence when they're in the draft because they have to drive down their draft stock. This is a game. Don't fall into the game. Don't fall into the trap. Don't believe these people. They lie. They lie with intention. They are lying with intention to rattle the cage. Don't buy this. Stop buying people's lies. They are lying to you to get a response. Consider this clickbait. These people are leaking things, releasing them, trying to get the engagement and to see what people say. But really, the person they are trying to get to is Shedeur. If Shedeur doesn't say anything, the next person they're going to try to get to is that inner circle. That is how this works. Let me give you another example, and this might be a little bit of a touchy subject. Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter had all these things happening with his girl. Travis Hunter had all these things in the news about his woman. Somebody finally talked to them, I think, and said, hey, you gotta quiet this down. Get her away from screens. Hey, you guys come together, come up with a plan, remove yourself. Remove yourself from being a talking point. Remove yourself from the forefront. Don't allow people to use you for stories. Don't allow people to ruin this opportunity for you. Remove it. Remove it, remove it, remove it. Travis Hunter has done a great job rebranding himself. Nobody hardly ever talks about his woman anymore. That is by design. That is why Shedeur Sanders should just stay quiet. Shedeur Sanders has a positive tweet out to Will Howard, and everybody will take that and run with it and do whatever they want to do with it. Shedeur Sanders was sitting there with his teammates with his chains on and minding his business. That is exactly what I want my quarterback to do. I want my quarterback to show up. I want him to be quiet during this process. All he has to do is stay disciplined. Part of being a leader is staying disciplined. I need Shedeur Sanders to stay disciplined. I need the people around him to stay disciplined. And I need us as fans to stay disciplined as well. The last thing I'm going to do here is I am going to read Jaden Daniels' reviews that he was getting last year. I'll put it up on the screen as also while I'm reading. And I'm going to read Caleb Williams also what they were saying about him pre-draft. The reason why I'm doing this is how this goes. Take 5 seconds of your life and go Google anybody that is projected to go in the top whatever from past drafts or from these drafts. This is what they do. This is how they drive player stock down, is they talk trash about it. I'm going to say this is not a political channel, but think about what the president of the United States is doing right now. He is saying things and he is driving down the stock price. That is the exact same thing that is happening with Shedeur Sanders. People are saying stuff and they're trying to drive down his stock price. That's just what happening. That's just what is happening. Do not fall for for the okie doke. We're better than this. Do not do this. Do not fall for this. Stay disciplined, stay disciplined, stay disciplined. Jaden Daniels from the Washington Commanders, the guy who everybody is talking about because he did such a good job last year as a rookie. Here were some things they were critiquing of his size, his pressure to sack ratio, and anticipation. Okay, here's the other thing. Do you know what else they were criticizing him about? His arm strength. Daniel's arm strength was considered average. His footwork was improving, but still needed work. However, Daniels was also praised for his poise, accuracy, and ability to create separation downfield. My point is this. Did any of those sound familiar about Shedeur? I'm not saying that Shedeur is Jaden Daniels. What I'm saying is this is how they pick people. They're going to pick and prod and pick and prod because this is the NFL, folks. Button up. This is the NFL. Lose those feelings. This is business. This is about business. Business does not care about your feelings. The goal here is to drive down the market for Shedeur Sanders. If you don't see it, I don't know what to tell you. The goal here is to drive down the value of Shedeur Sanders. Let me talk about Caleb Williams. Again, as I'm pulling this up, I want to say, I'm not saying Shedeur is going to go number 1 or number 2. I'm not here to say that. What I'm here to tell you is these are the same tricks and the same tactics that get used all the time. These are the same things they do every year. So here is the issue with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams faced criticism for his personality, social media use, and time to throw. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Okay. Also, on the bottom, it says some other criticism. Some analysts like Dan Orlowski thought the Bears should take Jaden Daniels over Williams. Well, that's kind of true. And then they said some said that Williams was underwhelming and unfixable. He went number 1 in the draft. So who cares what these people are saying? What their opinions are, it doesn't matter. My whole point in saying this, I need Shedeur to just keep doing what he's doing. I need Shedeur to just stay focused, to just keep that zen, to just do whatever he's doing because it's working. People are talking. The man shows up, does a great interview, says the things he's supposed to say, is very confident. The day of the draft, all through the draft, if you haven't watched the draft and you've only seen clips, go listen to how they talked about Shedeur Sanders, not the draft, the combine. Go listen to how they talked about Shedeur Sanders the entire combine. Nobody had anything negative to say about Shedeur Sanders. Not a single soul had anything negative to say about Shedeur Sanders. Then, as soon as the combine is over, now all of a sudden people have things to say. Pay attention. Don't fall for the okie doke. The other thing I want to say before I end this video here is, as a Black woman, I have to say this because I'm going to be true to who I am. These are the criticisms that a lot of people have of Black people, specifically Black successful men. This is where we find ourselves. This happens everywhere. And a lot of people are going to go, oh gosh, here she goes, making it about race. If you don't think everything is political, that's your problem. If you don't think everything is about race, that is your second problem. Because everything in this country, everything in this world is political, and every single thing is about race. Because there are specific reasons why they're using the words that they are using to attack Shedeur, because that is how Black men, unfortunately, are branded in professional sports. You don't have to believe me. Take time to go do research. Go do your own research. This is what happens. Also, this is also an attack on Coach Prime. This is an attack on Deion Sanders. They are assuming that Shedeur Sanders is exactly like Coach Prime. They are assuming that Shedeur Sanders' traits, he must be just like his dad because that's exactly how his dad was. I have been on record saying many a times, I don't think Shedeur has characteristics like his dad, like a lot of people thinks he does. Do I think Shedeur is confident? Absolutely. Do I think Shedeur should be confident? Absolutely. Do I think Shedeur is arrogant? Absolutely not. Do I think that Shedeur Sanders' personality is just like Coach Prime's? Absolutely not. And anybody that's paying attention will be able to tell you that. I think Shedeur is a competitor. I think he's ready to compete. I think he's ready to put in hard work. I think he's ready to put college behind him. And I think he's ready to get on an NFL team and prove what he is worth, because that is who he is. He's a gamer. You can say whatever you want about him. You can say all the negative things about him. Lord knows I've made videos and I've said things about Shedeur that I'm like, oh gosh, why does he do this? Why does he do this? At the end of the day, I think he's a gamer. I will say, do I think he should go to the AFC North? No, but I do think that he is a gamer. I don't think he should go anywhere in the North, but that's just my own thing, and I'll just leave that where it's at. So Here's my video about Shedeur Sanders. Here's what I think about Shedeur Sanders. For those of you that have messaged me, tweeted me, DM'd me, sent me comments, tried to reach me, all the things, if you're wondering what I think about all the things that are happening with Shedeur Sanders, this is what I think about it. And the fact that I sat back in my comfortable chair to make this video should tell you how important this is to defend Shedeur and to defend what he's doing and to remind people, don't fall for this okie doke. Do not fall for this. This is the goal. Don't fall for it. You do not have to fall for this crap. I'm going to end this video here. Don't forget to like this video. Leave me your comments in the comment section below, and I will see you in my next video.